All right, everybody, welcome back. Sam's Army, episode 2.203. We got a lot to talk about this week. We're going to start off with headlines, where we got some FIFA stuff, some US-Mexico stuff, and MLS All-Star Game talk. Then we will hit weekly What If, a hypothetical about where your club would be today, if not for the current owner. Premier League, we had a few results, smattering of results. Some fun things to talk about in Arsenal world and some sad things to talk about in Tottenham world. In other words, just more of the same. Then we'll hit rest of world, MLS Hit-It-Quit-It Minute. Also, U.S. men's national team preview. We got a match day or couple match days coming up. And then, of course, stoppage time with Ivan Toney's best bets and everybody's favorite segment, GOAWs. Now it is time to welcome in these beauties here with me this week. First up, we will start out with Mr. Mitchell Goulet, aka Overtime Mitch. Welcome back. I hate that jersey, but I do respect it. How busted is your bracket at this point?
It's not. It is in the 87th percentile.
Ooh.
Not the one in your group. You might think I'm bullshitting you because it's not the one that's in your group. That one is tragic. I named it Middle Child because that was the bracket I didn't really care about. But my actual bracket, the one that I put time and thought into, is doing pretty handsomely. We got 10 of the Sweet 16 still in there, including the champion.
So I know there's different strategies here, but you put in different brackets for different pools rather than putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, I only had one bracket per pool. If I'm in a group, I'm gonna make a separate bracket for it. I'm not gonna use the same exact one.
Okay. Who's your champ?
Houston.
Ooh, okay. Well, you're doing a lot better than me. I don't even know where I'm at right now, but yeah, very shocking. I had UCLA as a champ, so I'm still alive technically, but not really. Mikey, random question for you, Mr. Mikey Fowler, aka Mikey Podcast. I'm fascinated by this Instagram story you put up, and I need to know more that you didn't add any context to. Who had a Marvel themed 30th birthday party?
Somebody was tweeting about how they hated Succession and they found that it had no point and was bullshitting. And I was getting mad in a group chat about somebody who tweeted. And I was reminded that this said person I was angry about threw himself a 30th themed Marvel birthday party. So I immediately calmed the fuck down after hearing that news.
Fair. Threw himself a Marvel themed 30th birthday party.
Oh yeah. I just replied to his tweet. Yep, it could use more Iron Man. That's all I said about Succession. So
that's great. That's a great story. I'm glad I asked. Last, never least, Tyler Terrens is back on the program. So my normal question about your travels does not apply here because you actually called a game here in Chicago. But the game you called, was this the most exciting Chicago Fire game that you've called in your history of calling Chicago Fire games?
No, I've called plenty of games where the Fire have squandered a 2-goal lead in the last 10 minutes at home. And that is, as funny as that sounds, that's the God's honest truth.
Yes.
That's fair.
I said to our crew, Devin Kerr, my broadcast partner, this is his first Chicago Fire game. This is his first time in Chicago in a while, and he's been to the city before, but we just had a great weekend. But I was like, I'm so glad Devin got a full Chicago experience. We went out in West Loop on Friday. We went to Trivoli Tavern, had a great dinner, took a little walk. It was freezing. He got to experience, Chicago during the winter, and he got to see the Fire have a biblical collapse in the second half at home. I mean, what more could you want from the Windy City? So yeah.
It's on the pamphlet. That's all on the pamphlet.
It's true. Death taxes and the Fire inability to protect a 2-goal lead. It doesn't matter what regime. It's on a different level. Yeah.
That actually really applies to Chicago. Gun death, high taxes, and fucking Chicago Fire just absolutely.
You said the first one.
Listen, I know. I'm just kidding, but not really. All right, headlines. Let's hit up first FIFA. So we have finally, officially anyway, we know what the 2026 World Cup is going to look like. We've known for a while it's going to be 48 teams. We didn't really know, what else it was going to be, how it was going to work, what the format was going to be. So they finally come out with the 48 team format, and instead of groups of 3, they're sticking with the groups of 4, and that's sort of the biggest takeaway from this new thing. There's pluses and there's minuses. Mikey, I know you got some thoughts on this. You got any? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you somewhere in the middle?
This is another one of those anti-change takes that I have that I understand will completely flip if it benefits what I want or fits the narrative that I'm desiring for results of knockout groups and stuff like that. But I don't like it at all. I think just something about the qualification process. If you're going to play all these fucking games, make them matter more than that. I don't want to see guys getting hurt playing international because I mean, this we'll get to it eventually, but this window right now, this international window, are qualifiers, not just friendly. So there's some stuff on the line here. And if you're going to cheapen and widen the World Cup group or the World Cup amount of groups and who gets in and whatnot, I think that that they should at least get rid of some qualifying games, which they won't. So overall negative, I don't like it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, this is about money, right? I mean,
well, more games always is the best thing for everyone in the financial world. So
right, for FIFA. So it's going to be 104 games total. That is a lot more than what we're looking at right now. So 64 in the current 32 team format. The big change that they went with was 12 groups of 4 instead of groups of 3, which 16 groups of 3, I guess. I couldn't do the math in the moment. The thing about that is I totally understand why they went with groups of 4, and probably ultimately that's better. It's just, it grinds my gears that FIFA wanted to go with groups of 3 when it was quite clear all along that that was not going to work, because then you would have a final day, a final group stage game where one team would be watching and 2 teams would be playing, and those 2 teams that would be playing would know exactly the result they needed to move on. And so, you can go back to, I can't remember what the disgrace of Gijón, I think was the name of it. West Germany and like Austria or something. They basically,
they Hoosiered it.
Yeah, they passed the ball around for an entire game and screwed somebody. I think it was Morocco or somebody. I definitely probably got all 3 of those countries wrong right there. So yeah, the fact that it's going this way, I get it, I understand it. It's just the fact that FIFA couldn't see that coming. It just is another strike in my mind, and sort of suggests that they're just taking a ham-handed approach to getting to the end result that they want, which is more games, more teams, and more money. And so it just sort of, I don't know, rubs me the wrong way. Mitch, yay or nay on this?
Co-sign everything. Yeah, it just feels like a big old money grab, and increasing the amount of games by that much really does cheapen it in the moment in the tournament. I'm going to compare it to March Madness because that's what we're going through right now. That only has 64 games, and each one kind of feels like it matters. Even the first round games you don't have to watch all of them, but you want to. There's going to be a lot of World Cup games and a lot of ones that people are not going to be able to watch, or the pool's just going to be simply too wide to really call it a tournament. It just feels like a lot. And since, like Mikey said, they're not decreasing the amount of qualification games, it kind of cheapens the whole thing. It's still going to be the greatest tournament in sports, but reflexively, change no good.
Yeah.
I reserve the right to change that later.
Of course, if we win, then I'm all for it.
Right.
The other sort of cheapening aspect or element of this is that, now the top 2 from every group goes forward into the knockouts, which is actually going to start with the round of 32 as opposed to round of 16. But in addition to the top 2 in each group, 8 of the 12 best third place teams advance. So, I mean, just in terms of cheapening, like the tournament itself, the group stage is really going to feel different. Like, you knew, basically you had to get kind of 2 results, out of the 3 games to ensure yourself of moving on. Now it's like you can get 1 win and you're pretty much through. So there's no way around it. That just cheapens the group stage, and the group stage is kind of like the real meat and potatoes of the tournament, where it's like everybody's excited, everybody's still got a chance to win. So yeah, I don't like that element of it. Tyler, any final thoughts on this?
I mean, the good thing is that it at least protects the final day to a certain extent. And like the final day of what we saw from this past World Cup was just like bonkers. And, you know, there's a lot of different things that can happen. Obviously it'll be different, but it does protect that.
Yeah.
The staying in groups of 4 protects that.
Right. Exactly. And, you know, they eventually came around to that and realized it, but the fact they didn't realize that from the beginning is kind of like, what's going on, guys?
And it does add, and that's a good point, Tyler. It does add a little bit of like, if a team has lost their first 2, there is a shot here. A lot of guys were dead even in this last World Cup going into that 3rd match day.
Yeah,
that does change things.
It's true. I mean, like,
how many teams actually were dead in the dust?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Not many.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Yeah,
they want that though.
Max.
They want everybody to be alive on the final day and for every game to matter. Otherwise, you know,
Right.
those are wastes of games for them too, because then everybody's just going to be tuning into the game that matters anyway.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there are unintended consequences and, you know, things that will come out of this that we're not thinking of. And I will admit, I'm coming at it from a biased perspective where I think FIFA is, you know, a money grubbing organization, and I don't really trust them. So I'm coming at it from a negative perspective when, you know, there could absolutely be positives. So I'll try and keep an open mind. All right. Next up, we got a new competition, brand new. It's called the Allstate Continental Challenge. So it was revealed this year. Yes, very, very
the December bowl game.
It does have like that feel to it. But basically it's going to basically have a US versus somebody every year. And the positives are that this is a way that we can play ideally some good competition. And that's the thought behind it. This year we're playing Mexico. I don't know who we're playing in, you know, other years. I don't think they've decided yet. But, you know, with all the Nations League and all this stuff, the games that we're contractually obligated to play against the likes of El Salvador and Grenada, no offense to them, but that's not, you know, going to test our team, at least. I hope not. So Tyler, you go first on this. You know, what are your thoughts on this competition? Is it good that we just get an extra US Mexico game, or does it just not feel kind of, I don't know, feel too artificial?
I thought that's what Nations League was for.
Yeah, it's true. Good point.
Well, I mean, we got 2 of those the other summer. We got Nations League and Gold Cup. I thought Gold Cup was for that, but I don't know. It's just another. What is anybody doing anything in this sport now for anything for other than money? Like, sure, it's great that we can get. We're going to see the A team in one of the tournaments. We're going to see the B team in the other tournament. We're going to see the C team in the other tournament. Like, yeah, sure. They're just trying to. People are just trying to legitimize friendlies. That's it.
Yeah,
all they're doing. But now what you're doing is taking out the opportunity during international windows to go and play against teams that you are going to face in the World Cup, which is what any national team wants to prepare for anyway, especially the US, who can't get any good competition outside of playing Mexico.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing to add to that. It's pretty much exactly what I think. Mitch?
Anytime the brand's name is the first word of the competition and not a description of the competition, that's how you kind of know. But like, when does it stop? There's only so many days in a year. When do we keep adding competitions? I don't. It's getting harder and harder to explain to like my roommate who's a casual fan, like why this game matters and what competition this is and who's playing here. Oh no. He's normally a backup, but since this person said, like, oh my god, it's a headache.
And then there's the last little wrinkle that I didn't mention is this is not official, an official FIFA date, international break. So
it's just in the midst of things.
Yeah, it's right and it's coming down the stretch. It's in April, so
it couldn't be more forced.
So then it's going to be the D team. Who are you going to get?
Who's playing?
Who's be able to convince to go to that?
No idea. MLS guys.
I will play.
I will put my name in a hat.
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm
like a poor man Sam Vines.
Shout out Sam fam. All right, last, actually not last, but most recent on the addition to the headlines here, MLS All-Star Game came out. I think it was last night. That the format, if they've sort of switched it around here and there. I think we played Liga MX last time, and I actually kind of like that. But since we're playing, what is it, the league? What's the competition? League of Nations, not League of Nations. Leagues Cup. The Leagues Cup is happening between MLS and Liga MX. So I think they thought it'd be overkill if we did the same sort of MLS versus Liga MX. So this year, 2023, the MLS All-Star Game is going to be MLS versus Arsenal.
They wanted to give them a continental game because they got knocked out of Europa League.
Hey.
I like it. Let's get the shots in while we can, Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a step back, does it not? Like,
why?
How so?
Why?
Because we used to do this, right? MLS would play.
What do you
Chelsea.
want if you're not going to do it against Mexico? Who are you going to do it against? Give me
East
a better
West.
option.
Do it East West. I think MLS is evolved enough at this point to do an Eastern Conference versus a Western Conference. Like, the whole idea is like to get star power and everything. I think MLS has enough to do that now. That's just my thought. You guys disagree?
Yes. I think it's a very fun pseudo training for a lot of these teams. You get to see the kind of the youth of the big teams. These guys that you never get to see play together in MLS get to play together instead of like not tackling each other throughout the midst of a game that means nothing. I don't know. I'd rather see them competing against kids for Arsenal and that second unit for a lot of these bigger clubs who are competing for spots on rosters. So it still kind of means something. I think true East versus West will be just like a fucking training drill.
I think these guys see so much of each other in the regular season, and I agree. I like the different look. Also, they're smart to announce that now while Arsenal's at the top of the league and at the top of the world, really. Just PR wise, good on you.
Not in Europa. But...
I like the Americanization of it by getting all one league to make it an us versus them mentality. Like, I like MLS fighting against England. That's cool to me. It's very American to me. We're the only league that has an all-star game, so let's really lean into it.
Yeah. It's a stupid thing anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we know that, it's not going to be Arsenal's B team even. It's going to be like,
That's fine. I also like that it's differently, everybody's differently motivated. Like, these MLS All-Stars are out there to kind of put on a show, definitely score, and give the fans a good experiment. These English kids are out there like trying to fight for spots, like Mikey was saying.
Facundo Torres could be playing on either side come this game, by the way.
Facts. Big facts.
Tyler, love it, hate it, no feelings. No feelings. He's an emotionless robot right now. I think he's a little low on emotions. Weirdly for Tyler. Last headline.
You got something to say?
No. You look good. You feel good. You play good.
He's not low on emotions. They're just different ones.
Yeah, he's just ready
I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna kill all of you. It's the last time I tell any of you anything ever.
We're here to support you.
I
should have just gotten to see my therapist instead of being in here. This is bullshit.
Probably.
That is how I feel at the end of every one of these. To be fair.
Hopefully you're laying it on the field and like it's therapeutic for the rest of the audience. Just tell yourself that. Last, never least, of the headlines, Mauro Icardi and Wanda Nara are posting about each other and how much they're in love, and also about how she's going on MasterChef. And listen, the couples that MasterChef together stay together for.
That's true. I did read that.
Time, right? So I'm calling that a win for Team Love. Okay, weekly what if time. This one, I don't know where I came up with this one. I don't know if you guys.
Yeah,
hate it,
I had to do homework.
I know, I did too, actually. So this is the hypothetical for the week. Where would your club be in a hypothetical universe? I'm losing my voice, by the way. I don't know if you guys can tell, but Austin did me dirty this past week. Where would you be in a hypothetical universe where your current owner did not buy the club? So in this instance, ENIC and Daniel Levy bought Tottenham in 2001 from Lord Sugar. So where would you, Mikey? I know you've done your little research. What are your thoughts here?
Well, we'd be at Highbury. Can promise you that.
Is that bad?
I mean, now that we've gotten through the years that it was god awful, yeah, but it's been bad for the majority of my adult life. I think Arsenal would be one of those like owned by a small like one person with not a huge budget and finishing mid-table while doing it the right way kind of thing, like keeping our nose up but never actually being any good. I believe that would be the Arsenal way, true and true. It's like we grew all of our guys and just finished mid-table. Like we'd basically be Palace for the last 5 years.
I was gonna say, could you give us a club comparison to who is currently?
Yeah, like old stadium that has quote unquote atmosphere, young players that aren't really great, and finishing mid-table Palace every year.
You're going Palace, not Fulham.
But we'd call it the carpet and like act all pretentious about it.
When did Kroenke buy?
2011.
Okay.
Or 7, I forget. I googled it.
Your research coming in handy.
Spotty.
Mitch, any disagreement on that?
I wasn't even alive in 2007, so I'm just gonna co-sign everything Mikey said.
Fair enough. I'll go with ENIC. I mean, 2001. I do think we probably would have won a trophy, and not just that shitty, league, whatever the hell, fake
that
cup
matters
that we got. Just by the sheer, luck, we would have won a trophy by now. But we would be in nowhere near as strong a financial position. So, like, I know the stadium is controversial, kind of. ENIC is certainly controversial, just spending enough to like keep us in the mix, but and put the pressure on, if you will, never actually win anything. But I mean, I think we're in a better spot now than we would be with, the devil I don't know. So I'm gonna give ENIC a little bit of credit and say that we're in a better spot thanks to our financial position and the money coming in from the new stadium and everything like that. Tyler,
I like where you guys are at.
Yeah, well, that's not a compliment, and I was taking it very differently. So screw you, Mike. I was thinking bigger picture. I was like, yeah, it could be worse. Then you look at the actual microscopic, fine print of where we are right now, and it's an absolute shit show. We don't have a fucking coach. Our best player wants to leave. Our owner fucking, doesn't want to spend any money, and yeah, we suck. So life stinks. Hopefully that made you feel better, Tyler. So what are your thoughts here on your main man, John Henry?
I think we'd be owned by Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney at this point. And hear me out. I mean, we were going bankrupt when John Henry bought Liverpool Football Club for a mere $300 million from Hicks and Gillett. And I think that Liverpool would potentially be playing non-league football, and Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney would have bought Liverpool instead of Wrexham. So we'd be the hottest ticket in town right now.
300 million seems like a pittance. Are you serious? That's all it was.
I mean, it's no Charlotte FC, but yeah.
I think that's a very creative take. The Portsmouth approach. We're gonna submarine.
Don't give me a pity compliment because
we're gonna submarine. If we go down once, we're going down 4 times. That's the Plymouth way.
Like
Portsmouth. Take. Portsmouth. Sorry.
Yeah, I like that take though. Okay. It's too bad we don't have a Chelsea fan or a Leeds fan or some other ones we can get into that, but you guys did well. Good job. We will head now to excuse me, Premier League time. So it was one of those weird weekends where we had some games, also some games postponed because of FA Cup. So Mikey, let's go to you first. Of the games that were played, and if you want to go FA Cup, you can, if you think that was the most consequential. But what was the most notable or interesting result of the weekend for you?
It's hilarious to see City just like for the last 2 weeks say we don't have a Premier League game, but you're going to watch us beat people 7-0 and 6-0, and just we're sitting here. It's very scary to look at them play right now. So that result did not go unnoticed to me. But for me, I need to talk to you about the Southampton Tottenham game because it was the most entertaining one of the weekend, bar none. I really believe that from a neutral perspective. Theo Walcott, what do you feel about him, and how do you feel about this game in total? I have to ask you right off the bat.
So you didn't really want to talk about it. You just wanted to hear me talk about it.
I want to hear you talk about this Tottenham game. I do not know where you are mentally after this.
Yeah, not in a good place. I mean, the fact, Theo Walcott and Maitland-Niles, factored heavily into the game was just that extra little fucking twist of the knife, obviously. This team is in a bad spot. We're just in a really, really bad spot. Like the going up 3-1 in the 70 whateverth minute, and you can't lock it down against Southampton. Like, come on. And then, Pepe Sarr.
But here's the thing, Sam. You're in fourth place.
I don't understand.
That's the funniest thing about this total fucking capitulation of Tottenham. They're in fourth place.
Big point for you guys to hold court.
I'm honest to God, I've never seen it before. The results are not like it's a dumpster fire, but it doesn't look that bad. Like you have a chance at Champions League.
On paper, it doesn't look that bad. Part of that is because we've played more games than most of the teams around us. But I do not understand how we're in fourth. I've been saying that all season, essentially. Like, wow, we stink. How are we still like in fourth, or at least, within shouting distance of fourth? We're still in actual fourth place right now, which is insane to me. It stinks. Like the team is bad. And I think, I've been saying that for a while, but people want to blame ownership. They want to blame manager. They want to blame everybody. I think I'm now firmly in the camp where this is on the players. We've been through however many managers now. You could argue that these managers don't like play the Tottenham way or whatever. Fuck that. Like there is something when Mourinho is saying it, now Conte is saying it, that these players just are not. They're not really in it. They're just not. Yeah, the players are not. Like when Conte, his spiel, his whatever, his shots at everybody and anybody, which he then said was just players, was just against the players, which is hilarious in this day and age where you can't really do that at all. But like, I didn't hear anything that I disagreed with. Like, maybe you're not supposed to say that publicly if you want to keep your job, but
he doesn't want to keep his job.
He absolutely doesn't. He's wanted out for weeks, if not months, at this point. And I think I just checked Twitter. I don't think he's gone yet, although there's a lot of those tweets saying it's confirmed that will be leaving soon. I don't know how a manager continues to coach a team after he just basically said these players are shit and they just don't listen and don't care and they're huge wusses.
Frank Lampard did it.
How long did he last?
A couple of months after that.
Did he? We're in a bad spot right now.
You're not. You're in Champions League right now.
I know.
Talk to me when you got real problems.
Well, just wait a couple weeks and I'll be able to talk to you because I'm sure that's
worth noting. Those three teams below you each have 2, 2, and 3 games in hand on you.
That's what I'm saying. That's why we're in
dangerous fourth place.
Yeah, we do.
It's just we're a dumpster fire, we went for years sort of quietly laughing at Arsenal because you guys were such a clown show.
Quietly?
Well, kind of quietly.
How long was your avatar you pissing on an Arsenal logo?
I mean, that's pretty quiet, isn't it? No words said.
Quiet little golden shower.
I think it was actually diarrhea, not pissing, by the way.
Whatever.
We stink. We're terrible, and we don't have a coach, and our best player wants to leave. Other than that, we're doing great. And as you said, we're in fourth place. I don't know. It stinks. I don't know where we go from here. I would like, in my perfect little world in my mind, I have like Pochettino coming in and just sort of bringing us back to 2017 all over again. I don't think that's possible. And probably bringing him back would just be like, ruin the positive, beautiful memories I have of that experience with him. But I still want him. I still want Pochettino back. I do. I
That has
absolutely want him
real
back.
I miss my ex-wife vibes.
Oh,
right
yeah.
I was about to say this
hugely.
is why we do like Kardashian.
Hugely, hugely. I'm Matt's
I'm
back.
I'm guilty of getting back together with my ex, not once, not twice, but 3 different times in 3 different relationships. I've never had that. Sorry, was that too much?
You don't need to do that to yourself.
But this is what this is about, though.
This is therapeutic, Mitch.
I need to get this out. I've never had that experience with one of my managers. I've just never had that before.
You never wanted him back.
I never wanted Rafa back. I never wanted Roy Hodgson back. I never
True,
wanted
but
Brendan
what about
Rodgers back.
what about Klopp? What about Klopp? I mean, like you've experienced sort of the highs under him.
Well,
you're going to want him back in a couple years after he leaves.
I mean, first of all, it depends on who we get to replace him. If it's Nagelsmann and it goes south, and probably yeah. But like right now, I'm like, there's clearly a problem with the relationship that he has with the club right now, and like it's sort of his message is stale probably at this point, amongst other things and guys overstaying their welcome. But I've just never had that level of wanting to get back together with my ex-coach, even though I've had that 3 separate times in my love life.
In other arenas of your life. I mean, listen, Poch said the same. Essentially, I don't know if Poch came out and said it quite as well, I know he didn't say it quite as starkly as Conte did, because I don't think anybody ever has, but basically the talk was that the players had quit on Pochettino, and it seems like they're basically quitting on every single manager we've had since. So I don't know.
That's a funny way to say they suck.
They do stink.
Who does that, something, your beloved Harry Kane, he's the captain. He's been there for the longest. I think that falls on him a little bit, if that is in fact true.
If he wants to leave, which why wouldn't he right now, to be honest? Why would he not want to leave? If he does, then yeah, that absolutely could play into this in terms of like our leader, our captain. I mean, I don't know if Ugo is still the captain when he's on injured reserve or whatever, but like, Harry Kane is our recognized best player and everything like that. If he wants out, yeah, that's gonna filter down to the rest of the team. Like, absolutely.
Can I ask a totally non-relevant question here?
Yeah.
Did you go for a run before this?
No. Did you catch the pit stain there?
Bro,
it's hot in this room.
It looks like you just played 90.
It's hot in this
room. Show the world.
Can't do it.
Dude, it's so bad.
I'm gonna have to like nix that out, but I don't know how to edit video, so I can't actually.
No, fuck you. You like
check us out on YouTube.
When I ask to edit stuff, you usually don't do it. I have to like go and ask Dalton myself. We're keeping that in there.
It's so hot in this. I'm like on the 4th floor. It is so hot.
Flags.
Thanks for pointing that out. Okay, Arsenal. No, we haven't talked about Arsenal. We just talked about Tottenham.
That's what you get for firing Patrick Vieira on St. Patrick's Day, bitches.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm nervous. When I think I've been sort of saying this for weeks now, but like when Mitch came on with his jersey and I saw what he was wearing, it sort of hit me that you guys are going to have a shit-eating grin on your face for, I don't know, for years because of this freaking season. And that game against Crystal Palace where you just dummied them. I don't know if I've been confident.
It's not going to be years. We're not going to rest on our laurels.
Yes.
It'll be this year, but we're going to have continued excellence.
No.
We're not going to hang our hat on one season. Who are we?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You're going to be talking about this season for basically the length of our relationship.
I'm gonna throw it up.
Yeah.
But that Arsenal game was impressive. Palace stinks. They're not good right now. There's a reason that Vieira got fired. They can't score goals for anything, but they're also a team that, traditionally is tough to play against, and you guys just dummied them. That was a whooping.
Would you beat them 7-1 on aggregate in the 2 legs?
Yeah. You guys, does it feel bad that you
9 London Derby wins this year, most ever?
Wow. Does it feel bad to have contributed to the downfall of your guy Patrick Vieira?
No, it felt good to avenge him.
Okay.
I
Since
think
he'd
it's the
been-
highest. I think it's the highest compliment for a coach to get fired after you beat a team.
That's fair.
Scott Parker.
Okay. But listen, Sam, all focus should be on Liverpool, and that's where all the support is funneling into the next returning match week of games. We are all on the Liverpool train, baby, because if I know one thing about them, it's they play poorly once and then awesome once. So fingers crossed that they pull off the City game and then suck against us. That's all I'm hoping for. That could decide the title race.
Nunez is hurt though, so our spirit of Mr. Donkey Man might go away. So he might actually...
he's going to be healthy for Arsenal. Fuck, it's going to happen the other way.
God willing. God
and
willing.
Luis Diaz is going to be in full training next week too. BT Dubs.
The unpredictability of Liverpool determines Arsenal's season. What could possibly go wrong?
I mean, listen, that's got bad news written all over for Tottenham in our top four. Not that I actually think we have any shot, really.
Not that you don't have a shot.
It's
not that you don't have a shot. You don't deserve it.
We don't deserve it. I won't disagree with you there. I also am not sure we have a shot. The other teams, God, my voice is really not great right now. But I feel like Chelsea-Everton game, which is arguably more embarrassing than Tottenham. Giving away goals. What do you guys think?
I had a buddy. I was talking to him while I was on the can about 45 minutes before. Just need to paint the picture. Nice shade of brown for you guys. I was talking about 45 minutes before kickoff. His name's Davis Clark, aka DJ Clark. He played at Hobart with me. I'm just gonna put him on blast right now. Just all sorts of confident heading into that game. He goes, "I'm feeling 3 or 4-0. Boys are finally clicking. They just needed some time to settle in. Wesley Fofana, he's back. He's healthy. He's like 3 or 4-0. I said, DJ, I was like, please don't do this to yourself because I'm collecting receipts and this is just not a good look for you. I was like, you guys are going to struggle today. And indeed they did.
At home.
Indeed at home. Giving up leads twice. Not once, but twice to Everton. Yikes. So I just want to throw that out there. Tottenham probably wasn't even the biggest or worst collapse of the London teams this weekend since Chelsea was at home. At least we were on the road. I'm really grasping at straws now. Shout out to Leeds, though. What a huge win for them. 4-2 over Wolves. I would not have guessed that 6 goals would be scored in that game the way that Leeds has been playing. But that is a humongous win for Leeds. So shout out to them.
Jesse Marsh wasn't even watching. He was too busy celebrating with Mitch Henderson and the Princeton Tigers.
Yeah.
As well he should. He's on to bigger and better things, maybe. All right. We're not going to do power rankings because there's no real point when the week to come does not involve domestic games. Plus, Mitch and Tyler would probably come at me if I was going to throw that in there. No weekend preview. So we'll go right to rest of world. And I think we'll get it started off with a little MLS Hit-It-N-Quit-It Minute, if you're ready, big man.
I am indeed. All right. So the first game of the slate for week number 4 would take place in the Pacific Northwest. Brian Schmetzer and the Seattle Sounders coming off their first loss of the season, taking on LAFC, the reigning champs at home. Should be a great game. Yeah, not so much. 0-0 is the final score from Lumen Field. Montreal and Philadelphia Union. I'm going to go ahead and preface the rest of this MLS Hit-It-N-Quit-It Minute with the fact that there are trap weeks in Major League Soccer. Yes, trap weeks, not trap games, but trap weeks. And that's not because we're getting all crazy and we're going dancing and we're getting ratchet in the club. It's not trappy. It's trap as in all the good teams lose to bad teams and good teams don't perform well. So without any further ado, Club de Foot Montreal at home take down the Philadelphia Union by a score of 3-2. Atlanta United dismantle the Portland Timbers at the Benz. Thiago Almada, the $16 million man, he is finally starting to come good on every single penny that they spent. They're going to recoup that money and then some. He's probably going to be sold for a Major League Soccer transfer fee at some point in time. But until then, he's going to continue to put in bangers like we saw from about 35 yards out. By far one of the best free kicks that we've seen in Major League Soccer, maybe since a Dwayne De Rosario, going all the way back to one of the greatest free kicks, not only in Major League Soccer history, but in all of soccer. Yes, you heard me correctly. New England Revolution with a 1-0 win at home against Nashville SC. Another trap game amidst this trap week. Trap week continues at Exploria Stadium. Orlando City go down to Charlotte by a score of 2-1. Their first points period of the season come by way of a 2-1 win. Toronto FC, 2-0 winners over Inter Miami. Columbus Crew, they traveled to Red Bulls, always a difficult place to play. They put up a goal, but they end up losing 2-1 as well. NYCFC end up beating 3-2 DC United. That is not a trap game. That's simply what's supposed to happen. FC Dallas, 2-1 winners at home against Sporting Kansas City. Houston Dynamo at home against Austin FC. Trap week continues. Houston Dynamo come away with a 2-0 win. Good on Betty Olsen. And then St. Louis City cannot be stopped. 4-0-0, 12 straight points. My people are perfect. Timmy Parker is celebrating in the streets of St. Louis as they are 3-0 winners over the Earthquakes, Chicago and Cincinnati. We already talked about it. My goodness, what on earth is happening in the Windy City? It was about 20 degrees. It felt like 8. We were freezing our titties off in the booth, but my, oh my, we had 6 goals to keep us warm. Lucho Acosta comes on in the 80th minute, drops a dime for Sergio Santos, makes it 3-2 when it was 3-1. Chicago scored 3 unanswered after Junior Moreno scored the opening goal, but Acosta comes on, drops the dime, and then Junior Moreno, the perennial goal scorer that we know him to be and we love him for. He had 3 goals in his Major League Soccer tenure going back to 2018. He scored 2 on the night, including the equalizer, off the post, and nothing Chris Brady could do about it. And the Chicago Fire have squandered yet another 2-goal lead in the final 10 minutes at home for the umpteenth time since 2007. I'm just going to throw out a random year. And then the Colorado Rapids, awful news for them. Jack Price, their sensational central midfielder, goes down with an Achilles rupture, and they fall to Minnesota United, the Loons, by a score of 2-1. And then LA Galaxy draws the Vancouver Whitecaps home 1-1 to wrap up Trap Week number 4.
Trap week. We're just gonna call it trap week. I like that. Do you think that Thiago Almeida is he gonna finish the season in MLS, or do you think he's gonna be gone?
That free kick alone might get a deal across the line. And you laugh, but I'm not kidding.
And not just that free kick, but just
it's not just that
every game
Anybody
so
who's been
far
watching,
he's played this season.
Even when he wasn't producing the numbers that he's producing now, he's different gravy. He's on a different level. He's still super young. Like, he's fucking 19 years old. Like, this kid's a stud. 20. Yeah. He's a stud.
I mean, he's a World Cup winner. So yeah. And Falcons FC, by the way, they seem to be back because it's not just him. Like they're
fully back. They retooled this roster. They got that South American flavor in that's super young, and they are just flying at the moment. Absolutely flying.
All right. I'm glad we're through with that. And Chicago Fire. What the fuck, guys? Let's get this going again. U.S. men's national team. So we now have the A team, most of it anyway, here for 2 games in Nations League. So this is CONCACAF Nations League. We're going to play Grenada, and I believe that game is on Friday. Excuse me, Friday. That game is in Orlando, and then we play El Salvador 3 days later, and that is actually down in Central America. So, these games kind of count. I mean, allegedly count. So we do have the A team. I've saw all the pictures of all the guys coming in and landing and arriving. It was good to see Gio Reyna, and he was all smiles. So good to see that. I don't really even know what to say about these games other than no injuries, and there is no reason why we should struggle even a little bit in these games. So, I mean, anything else to add on this? I mean, I don't know what else to say.
We gotta treat it like American Idol for our number 9. It has to be auditions. You got to give everybody a bite at the apple, and whoever takes their chance, they move on to the next round, because we've gone too long and too far without a true number 9, and we've got a ton of them on the roster this window. Let's find somebody. I really need somebody to step up and take that position by the reins, because we're not going anywhere in the World Cup without it.
sorry, Mikey. Can I question that line of thinking? I know you were being somewhat facetious in the way that you were going about that.
Mhm.
Striker is everything in confidence, right?
Yeah.
All confidence.
Oh, of course. It's all, and it's
So
more so form based than what you did against Grenada in March.
agreed. With that said, do we maybe just need to give somebody that, whether it's earned or not, and by earned I mean like they don't need to be bagging a goal per game and
Yep.
that type of thing, but give the reins to somebody for a window or two, because every striker who comes in now has that in the back of their head. If I don't score this window, if I don't make the most of my opportunity, the next guy's coming up. And how are you supposed to get any sort of confidence entering it like that? Do we just give it to Ricardo Pepi for 2 windows? Do we just give it to Josh Sargent? Like, I almost want somebody to know that they're not going to be yanked and replaced the following game so they can just go out and play. I know
There's
that's
a lot of logic to that.
but it's Candyland and utopic by nature. But I almost think that that's what we need.
Greg would say no. He would disagree with that and say,
Greg's
no,
not in
we're going to
charge
play a
anymore.
bunch of guys 60 minutes and 30
Yeah.
minutes and see who's able to put one in the back of the net. But I'm on board with that. Yeah, I'd love to give Pepe the reins and just say, hey, you're it for the next 2-3 windows. Okay, prove that you're it continuously. It's because it's a calculated decision at that point, right? Isn't Pepe our best number 9?
I don't fucking
Like
know.
on paper, I would like some questions
His
answered. I guess
tools-
is the real
His
summary.
tools lend me to believe he is. What he's able to do when he's not
Yeah.
scoring and not totally involved leads me to believe he is. He can
Agreed.
still impact the game when he's not getting delivery from out wide and doing what he does best. So yes, he is my number 1.
Well, Pepe is an option for this window. So is DK, but a lot of the guys like Josh Sargent isn't there.
I love
isn't
DK.
there.
I love DK off the bench. I really do.
Yeah.
I love a change of pace. If you go from Ricardo Pepe skinny, a little bit of hold up play, not going to turn you, but it's just going to lay stuff off, and then DK just wants you on that big old behind of his, and he's just going to spin you the other way. Like, I love that.
DK and his big old behind, as Tyler put it, have been tearing it up at West Brom. And the goals that he scores he wills those balls into the back of the net. It's not right place, right time tap ins. It's I'm bigger than you, and here it is. And
I think he's going to start in Orlando.
yeah, he played there. He's
As a
probably got
sub.
a lot of friends and family there.
Yeah,
I can see him starting there.
that'll be interesting. I mean, we're in a weird spot, right? We got an interim manager. Like, what exactly is he? What's his marching orders? What's his motivation?
Make everyone happy.
Right?
Start DK, right?
Yeah, don't be in the news, really.
Yeah, don't.
Homecoming, storyline, positivity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. 2 wins, 2 big wins. That's all we really need to even talk about there. NCAA pool. Quickly, I got to give a shout out to the people who, unlike me, know what they're talking about with NCAA stuff. So Mr. Wolf is in first place, even with Carp 1122 Carpador Kate. Oh, come on, you Spurs. Okay. All right, Carp. I'm gonna give you the tiebreaker. You're in first, and Mr. Wolf's in second. Who else we got?
Dictator.
M. Roche, Kyle Lehman, A-Stat 024, Porter, Crone Zone, Shooter McGavin, JSEC, Windiana. I think I saw Larry Nance was near the top of Matt.
What does he know about ball?
Larry doesn't know ball.
Larry knows ball. Get out of here.
Larry knows ball. Actually, Matt Freeze.
Larry's, you know something? Larry's scared to come on the pod. I'm just gonna go ahead and say
it. He'll be back. I promise you that.
Yeah, I haven't seen. When's the last time this man has been on the pod?
he's got like a paying job that he's got to go do.
So does Tim Parker finds time for the pod. That guy's scoring goals and hasn't lost a game yet, and he's the most popular man in St. Louis.
And he's carrying an undefeated
maybe
team.
That's why he's doing so much press.
Yeah, but he doesn't get paid for this. If we're being completely honest, I'm sure he has bigger and better PR fish to fry. But Larry Nance Jr., where you at? Where you at, my bro?
Larry and TJ, I'm in constant community, not constant. I'm in touch with them, and I promise you that they We'll be back soon. But shout out to Larry. He's actually near the top. So is Matt Freeze.
TJ's at halftime. We should be able to jump on now.
TJ's been playing well as of late.
Yeah, he's halftime right now. Call him up.
I like TJ's
TJ
story. Earlier today, he posted like an office conversations be like story, like he isn't an actual NBA player. You don't go into an office, TJ. It's funny, but come on, that's not relatable to you.
Little do you know, TJ works a 9 to 5 in the Indiana Pacers organization before he plays at night.
Dude.
He's in corporate partnerships.
I bet.
I guess actually we should give Tim Parker a shout out because him and Julian Gressel and Spencer Ritchie are all kind of near the top of the leaderboard. All right, there's a lot of people up there. I'm not one of them. I stink. Let's go to stoppage time. Wrap this up. So we will start with Ivan Toney's best bets. This is always tough on a week with no real games. Mikey, I guess usually we'd throw it to Tommy, and he'd give us like the
MLS
number of goals.
MLS,
MLS, yeah, MLS plays. Okay, good. We got some games to work with, but I was gonna say because Tommy's pretty good about saying exactly how many goals are going to be scored in a U.S. men's national team window. But let's go. Let's go.
He
MLS.
is good at that.
He is. He's twice. I think he's nailed it right on the head. You want to start us off, Mr. MLS Hit-It-Quit-It Minute guy?
I need to preface this by saying that I will not be placing this bet. I am simply recommending to inquiring minds what they would like to do. So without any further ado, let's get weird. The game that I'm calling, Inter Miami and Chicago. Over.
Ooh, really?
Over.
This man has done some research, by the way. So
Nashville and Cincinnati. Under. This is a parlay, by the way. If anybody was wondering.
I think they know how this goes.
And where are the Rapids? There they are. Austin coming off of a bad loss. Colorado missing their best midfielder. Hammer Austin FC on the money line. So you got Austin FC, you got over in the Chicago-Miami game, and you got under in Nashville and Cincinnati.
Okay. All right. I'll have to get those.
I got it. I'll do it. Go to the next guy, and then I'll.
Okay. You'll get the numbers. Mitch, looks like you're ready to go.
I am. I'm not going as bold, but I'll stick with a MLS parlay. I like Philadelphia Union money line against Orlando, and we'll do both teams to score New England Revolution, DC United. Rounds you out to a comfortable plus 150. 170.
I was looking at that Philly game too. What is Tyler? Do you know what's going on with Philly right now? Are they just not as good as we sort of thought they would be, or is it just sort of?
No. First of all, what is it? Week 5.
I know.
Just they've got a little CONCACAF Champions League thing going on as well. Just settle down. They're one of the best teams in the league. They've got our future assistant coach of the U.S. men's national team on the touchline. With everything's fine. Okay,
everything's fine. Fine. I will go. I think I'm going to stick with the over train and go Portland LA Galaxy over, even though that smells like under. I feel like Portland's going to bounce back and score some goals, and the LA Galaxy, they probably need to bounce back too. You took my one with Philly, Mitch, so I'll stay away from that. I did like Nashville Cincinnati under as well, but I'm not going to take that from you. Actually, I will. I'll parlay those together. Portland LA Galaxy and Nashville and Cincinnati. So Portland Galaxy over, Nashville Cincinnati under. Mikey?
So the juice on my parlay, by the way, is actually not that good. It's only 405.
That's pretty good.
No, it's for 3 legs.
I mean,
no, it's not.
I've heard of worse. 405. It's doable.
And it's over 2.5 in the Chicago game and under 2.5 in the Nashville game for those of you who are degenerates enough to be able to follow my advice in this.
True degens and still have money left. Mikey, what do you got?
Hey, we gave out last week the Porto winner draw with City 1.5. Nailed that right on the fucking head. Inter best case scenario was going to draw that game. They already needed a goal. So I'm going to stick with weird international, nobody on the field kind of cares, so I feel like you can make money on it bet. So forget your MLS. I have both teams to score no in Italy, England. Both teams to score yes in Sweden, Belgium.
Ooh, and are these Nations League as well? So they actually matter?
They are Euro qualifiers.
Okay, I like it. I like betting international games that matter. I hate betting international.
And the
games
first game
that
between
don't.
Italy and England in a group stage screams draw, screams 0-0. They're both going to be so timid because nobody wants to lose that first game, especially these two countries.
I like it. I like your thought process on that, Mikey. All right, let's move on. Let's finish up strong with GOAWs. Who wants to be the first to lead us out?
Oof.
Mikey Mitchell looks
No,
like Tyler's
I mean,
not ready.
if Mitch has one, then go for it.
I got two. One's pretty negative. One is very positive. First one's negative. Alexi Lalas. This is the views of me and me only. But fuck that dude for endorsing Ron DeSantis as the president of the United States on Twitter. Again, these are my personal views, not the views of the podcast. But I have absolutely no desire to hear his commentary on an international game while he actively supports someone like Ron DeSantis, who has done so much to harm foreign relations with countries in the U.S. I'll end that there. Fuck Alexi.
Did you pass that by our political correspondent?
I was gonna say he's still on my thunder
no.
here. We didn't talk about this before.
I really love these kind of discussions. We can have a whole separate pod with that if you'd like. We'll debrief on this later. But my good one, my very positive one, is Folarin Balogun, who posted on Instagram, "Go where you're valued," when supposedly in response to not being called up to the English national team. Now, we'll value you over here. We will value you. I mean, we'll give you the fucking keys to the kingdom. Come declare for the United States, because
it's perfect.
I mean, it would be that would change everything for us. That's the number 9 that we need.
Wouldn't mind it. Wouldn't mind
it. There's no auditions if he
No, that's his. That's
this
his
can be really simple.
Yeah.
Fuller Balogun. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I had him written down as one of my honorable mentions based on that story that he posted. He did get called in to the England U21s, I think, immediately after that. I think, didn't he? Am I wrong on that?
The French leading scorer. That's such an honor. I don't know what a guy's got to do.
Yeah, so he was called into the England U21 squad.
Was he? Okay. All right.
That obviously doesn't cap tie him. But Mikey, who you got?
So I'm not sure I have a positive one, but I really have to share something that happened to me over the weekend as a negative. And I'm going to give my negative go to Opta, the official stat keeping software company.
You were mad.
I have never been more mad in my life. So I had Haaland to score 2 or more goals plus a De Bruyne assist. Nice 50 to win 220. Good bet. He scores $1 million. All I need is the assist. De Bruyne hit the bar with the second shot, or the second goal came back and Haaland headed it in. FootMob gave the assist. UEFA gave the assist. Everyone gave the assist. FanDuel cashed out the bet. Barstool Sportsbook cashed out the bet. But DraftKings didn't, which is what I was using. And it turns out they use Opta, who disagreed on the definition of assist with everyone in the world and didn't cash. And I was seeing red for days because it's on March Madness week. It was before the first tip. So I was like, I'm red right off the bat. I was ready to blame everything on this decision. Every bad decision I made all weekend was credited to Opta being a cunt. So fuck you.
Didn't they also, so that not only did they go against, all the other sports books, didn't they Opta also go against their own policy?
Their definition is I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to be like the rule book says, but if you did your research, it's like, this is an assist, assholes. Nobody has an answer. And everyone seems to have forgotten. I don't know why people aren't on the street right now.
Okay, that's fair enough.
There was a community of like 15 of us liking each other's tweets on Twitter from all over the globe. It was quite a beautiful sight.
I think I did see that.
It was nice. I joined the community this week.
So you just got the negative Goa. That's no positive.
That's it. No hate, no
Too bad.
love in my heart.
Too
no love
bad.
in my heart.
Okay. Tyler, what you got for us?
Caleb Wiley of Atlanta United. 18-year-old kid, seems like, first of all, a great kid. Everything that I've heard and seen and everything like that. His parents actually own a like a pizzeria in the Atlanta area, which is really cool. And I saw him play last year. It was actually the game where Miles Robinson tore his Achilles or popped his Achilles. And that was like a game or two after his first MLS goal, and now the kid just like can't stop scoring. 2 goals and an assist against Charlotte. Follows it up with, another goal against Portland, and he's 18 years old, and he just, full of confidence right now. You just love to see it from a young American lad. And who knows, potentially a call up into some sort of either youth or senior national team in his future.
Yeah, he's killing it. As I said, Falcons FC, they are back. Couple shout outs for me. Alejandro Zendejas for choosing the US over Mexico. And congrats on his call up. Also, the St. Louis City SC admin, like I didn't really see this coming from them, but they posted after Sporting Kansas City scored a goal, they responded with a tweet saying, "Congrats on your first goal of the season," or something like that, which I understand. It's a nice little tweet. It's a nice little, shit talking tweet. I know admins, they're under some little bureaucracy, some red tape. They can't really go too hard, but I thought that was a nice little way to, I assume they're trying to, generate or get a rivalry going, right, with Sporting Kansas City. And I think that's a good way to do it. So shout out to them. My actual goal is, I guess I'm going to go on the negative side here, is the Eintracht Frankfurt fans who went to Naples with no plan on going to their Champions League game and instead just like rioted. I mean, like I understand. There were some Eintracht Frankfurt fans. I assume they're Frankfurt fans in my mentions on Instagram talking about how this might have actually been Napoli, the Napoli government's fault for not allowing them to go to the game, which perhaps there's some truth to that. But the fact that, I don't know, hundreds of people showed up to Napoli or Naples and basically just rioted. Like, they caused all sorts of damage. May or may not have been with Atalanta fans' assistance. There's a lot of theories out there on that, but just a wild decision to go to the city just to riot. And had no, there was no way they were going to the game. They knew that all along. So I think that this is like a throwback to the, the old school hooliganism days that, allegedly were behind us. Frankfurt did get their ass handed to them. So I guess karma is real. So they're going home regardless. But yeah, that was just a weird decision on their part. So that's my goal. All right, Mitchell, Tyler, Mikey, you guys are the best. Thank you for hopping on. Everybody, thank you for listening. We will be back bigger, faster, better, faster, stronger, and with a better voice next week. See you guys then. Take care.